There have been documentaries, dozens of interviews. The disappearance of Brittanee Drexel. It's a case that shook the Grand Strand community. The spring breaker from Rochester, New York, vanishing in Myrtle Beach 13 years ago, only for her remains to be found May of this year. This man, Raymond Moody, pleading guilty to Brittanee's rape, murder, and kidnapping, giving her family some sense of closure. Sadness and anger did fill the courtroom today as Brittanee's loved ones shared emotional testimony about the trauma they've endured since she disappeared. ABC 15's Connor Ingalls joins us just outside that courthouse tonight. He continues our team coverage on the justice for Brittanee Drexel. And Connor, I mentioned closure for the family, but it was a hard-fought win, and there were a lot of tears shed there today.
Yeah, Jen, there were tears shed from the Drexel family, which you, of course, might imagine, but also from another family. We'll get to that momentarily, and also from Raymond Moody himself. We have video of Brittanee Drexel's family entering that courtroom today. And after hearing those pleas and getting to speak directly to Brittanee Drexel's killer, they finally got that closure they've waited 13 years for. Carla Rogner from our Rochester affiliate, where Brittanee's from, came down for the hearing today, and she has more on what the family had to say after they got their day in court.
The defendant was and is, and I'm sorry, a perverted, sick monster. That this should never happen to anyone ever again.
It was the first time the Drexel family faced the man who's now admitted to killing 17-year-old Brittanee back in April 2009.
Whatever anger or hate I may harbor towards you is forever outweighed by my love for Brittanee and by the love so many people have shown us.
Camden Drexel is now older than his sister was when she went missing. In court, he spoke of the years and milestones he'll never get to share with Brittanee that Moody stole from him when he was just 6.
Growing up, my sister was my second mom. She was, and she really meant the world to me. Going to her soccer games and just being there for her and to be her little brother / baby was a dream.
Brittanee's adopted father, Chad, shared how she shined as a big sister.
That's when I saw the loving, caring person.
Her mother, Dawn, told Moody how Brittanee wanted to get married and be a mother.
My heart is broken, my life forever changed. So many lives destroyed by your selfish actions.
Many family members, including Camden, had a piece of Brittanee in court with them, wearing necklaces with her ashes. He's glad to now have some closure.
I want to live for Britt through the moments that she couldn't live through, so I can do it for her and achieve it for her, so we're both doing it at the same time, because I feel like Britt's living a little bit through me.
Chad, who once hoped Moody would be sentenced to death, says he's satisfied knowing he'll spend the rest of his life in prison.
It was what I hoped for, and thank God. I want to thank everyone at home for their prayers and their thoughts. In knowing that now we can move on.
In Georgetown, I'm Carla Rogner reporting.
And today was the last step in the Drexel family's 13-year-long fight for justice, but they say it doesn't end here. Dawn says they're going to continue to advocate for victims like Brittanee and for stricter laws that would keep sex offenders like Raymond Moody in jail. And while today we learned that Moody kept that terrible secret for 13 years, we also learned this morning someone else knew that truth too.
The big thing was Angel coming forth.
The solicitor is talking about Angel Vaughs. She was Ray's partner who talked to police back in 2011, again in 2014, and then just before he was caught. Angel told law enforcement she was with Moody when they picked up Brittanee in Myrtle Beach. And while Angel's story of Brittanee's disappearance changed over the years, in the end, the prosecution says it led to Moody's confession.
I don't believe everything that Ray said, but after 13 years, you got to take what he said, corroborate what you can, and it was enough to get rape, murder, and kidnapping.
And the solicitor said that the arrest almost didn't happen. He says when the FBI rolled up to Moody's house in May, Angel and Moody were trying to escape at that point. So now Moody will be first processed in Columbia by the Department of Corrections, and then they'll decide which prison in the state he will spend the rest of his life in. And the FBI sent a statement to ABC 15 today saying, "Today marks the end of a long, dark chapter for Brittanee Drexel's family and friends, the Myrtle Beach and Georgetown County communities, and all others who poured their heart and soul into finding the truth about what happened to Brittanee." The Bureau went on to say they hope the family can continue their healing and focused on cherished memories she left behind. And while Drexel's family received some closure today, another family is demanding that they get the same. Timothy Taylor's mother and attorney speaking out after Moody's guilty plea and sentence. Timothy and his father Sean were previously linked to Drexel's disappearance by the FBI in 2016. That's when the Fed said 2 jailhouse informants pointed them towards the family. Taylor's mother, Joanne, says their family has faced harassment and threats for years after the allegations. And since Moody's charges were announced in May, they've been waiting for the FBI to exonerate Timothy.
Every day for the past 5 months, our family has waited to hear something, anything, for those who pursued us so relentlessly for years. What have we heard? Nothing. No acknowledgement, no apology, and no accountability.
And they're now calling for Attorney General Merrick Garland to publicly exonerate Timothy. We reached out to the FBI in Garland's office for comment and have not heard back. And as we heard in court today, Moody was previously released early for another 40-year sentence, and his criminal history stretches from here to California. In 2008, he was charged with indecent exposure in the city of Georgetown. That was reduced to public disorderly conduct in court. He then was charged in January 2010 with failure to register as a sex offender in the county. The National Sex Offender Registry states Moody was charged in California in 1983 with rape by force, kidnapping, lewd acts with a child under 14 years, and sodomy with a person under 14 years. He was convicted in December 1983 and released on parole in 2004. And that's the same year a 28-year-old woman in Andrews went missing. And in 2012, Moody was named a person of interest in the Crystal Souls case, but never charged.
A bittersweet day for Drexel's family. After 13 years, they can finally celebrate Brittanee's life with some sense of closure. The amount of love and support that was felt in that church tonight, it just shows how much of an impact Brittanee has left on the Grand Strand. A memorial covered in white with a picture of Brittanee sits in front of the chapel, people comforting one another, and a gallery of Brittanee's 17 years, a life that was cut too short. Brittanee's mom, Dawn Plecken, thanked the community for caring and supporting her family after all these years.
We will be forever grateful for the whole community here in South Carolina for everything that they did for us.
She shared her appreciation to law enforcement by inviting them up on stage.
They brought Brittanee home.
Myrtle Beach Police Chief Amy Prock presented Dawn with a gift.
We're glad today is here. Not under these circumstances, but I think resolution is the word, not closure. But we want you to know that you will always be part of our family, our law enforcement family.
The celebration was 13 years in the making. Brittanee would have celebrated her 30th birthday this month. Dawn and Brittanee's little brother share with me what they would say to her if she was still here today.
I'm going to try to live for you, Britt, and do the things that I can, and I'll just have you by my side and guarding me through the life choices I go through until I see her again.
Brittanee, we finally found you so we can lay you to rest. And we have gotten justice for you. And we will do everything possible to hold everyone accountable for what happened to you.